Welcome to the channel with Rev Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. On Life and Love After 50 newsletter, this was issued in 2012. Greetings, champs. Often write to me with comments about how adult children can interfere with their parents' relationships. This is the main topic for today. In section 2, there is a link to my interview with Fox Business on the topic of marriage after 50. Some of the questions and answers overlap with the main topic of today's newsletter. Adult and children. Adult children can ruin a new relationship. Most singles in their 50s, 60s and 70s agree that finding a compatible mate later in life is difficult. Some never get past the looking. They just lose hope and stop trying. Others are fortunate enough to find a mate. Does that mean that it's going to be sunshine and roses from that point on? Not necessarily. Not necessarily, viewers. There are many issues that may be stumbling blocks to building a successful relationship, and one of the biggest ones can be from the children of one or both partners. Terry wrote, "In my relationship, my kids have been very welcoming, but on the other side, his kids are slow in wanting to meet me or get to know me. I'm okay with that. It should be in their time, but also I have a girlfriend who is in her 50s and her children are very critical of her dating. Why aren't children more supportive of their parents wanting a little love later in life? There could be many reasons. The kids may not want mum or dad to date because they feel it's disrespectful to the other parent, or the kids may be protective of a parent because they don't want to see the parent hurt, taken advantage of, or financially ripped off. It's the finance part that often motivates children to get involved. For some kids, it's as simple as not wanting to see their potential inheritance sabotaged by a new love. I've got a male friend whose father remarried years ago after the mother died. The father arranged to leave his entire estate to the new wife with the stipulation that what was left when she died would go to my friend and his sister. The father died, but the second wife was well into her 90s and spending the money freely. It would have been helpful if some of that money would have gone to my friend and his sister when they needed it. They, in effect, were disinherited. There may not be a penny left when the second wife passes away. I've got another male friend who has been dating a woman for a year and a half. He likes her and would like to be in a committed relationship. He has no children. He's met a couple of her women friends, but he hasn't been introduced to her children. He wanted to know if that's a red flag. To me, that's a red flag. I told him that yes, after a year and a half, not meeting her kids was definitely a red flag. I suggested he discuss it with her. Why is she sheltering the kids from him? The answer may be as simple as she doesn't want the relationship to progress any further. And viewers, that's the situation I come to with my last relationship, and I just called it. She didn't talk much about it anyway. The answer may be as simple as she doesn't want the relationship to progress any further. If that's the case, it will be up to him to tolerate the situation as is or move on. I couldn't tolerate it. By contrast, when I met my partner Greta 14 years ago, she introduced me to her 3 daughters on our second date. It's been smooth sailing with her children. She also has a son ever since. Her kids tell me they're happy that their mum has someone with whom to share her life. I have no children, so there's no issue on my side of the coin. During one of my marriages, my wife told me, blood is thicker than water. Her kids were the blood and I was the water. She was right. They bailed out after a few years. As with most aspects of older adult relationships, communication is critical, absolutely critical, when it comes to dealing with the children. If there are issues to resolve, the discussion should come early in the relationship. If one or both partners know there is going to be a problem with children, it's best to get working on a solution before it destroys the relationship, because after all, blood is thicker than water. Yeah, so it sounds like if women or men don't want to deal with the situations with their children, they've probably gone as far as they're prepared to in the relationship. Hey, if you haven't already, why don't you subscribe to one of the channels? This is Rev Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist. Bye for now.